What's up, everybody? It's new this week, and yes, it's me. It's me, your friendly old this weekend provider in Anthony's spot. Anthony's was out sick, but this launch that I've alluded to on Friday and old this week from Martin is in my wheelhouse, so I was going to be part of it anyway, but you get the full dose of me. Check out empiremusic.com to see the biggest launch of 2025, the new Martin series, Standard Series refresh. It's the most undersold revamp of a line of all time. It's huge. We're taking all the Standard Series guitars, which prior was the 18 series, so 18s, 28s, 35s, 40s, 41s, 42s, and 45s. You know, in 2017-18, they did the reimagined. Here they've taken them to the next level. We even added a Series 2. Go to the site, check them out. We have about 100 of the new Martins in stock. We're one of the few stores in the country. I think it's just us and a couple of chain stores that have some of the guitars. I've done videos on a lot of the guitars. You can see them. Justin's done some cool comparisons of 2024s versus 2025s. With that being said, I don't want to bury the lead. Let's get to the guitars because that's what you come for. Check out the site, call us. We will get you hooked up and give you all the details. There's like a couple big things. The big upgrade is the addition of golden era bracing to the Standard Series. Golden era bracing is something we use in custom shop guitars all the time. It's as close to the authentic bracing as you can get. It's a more scalloped brace, more powerful, definitely more vintage. This whole refresh is leaning into a more vintage playing experience in the sense of you'll find that the necks feel like they're more worn in with rolled edges. The tone of the guitars are more powerful, they're bassier, they're warmer. The top ends are rounded out, so not as bright and aggressive. They're definitely sweeter and more mature. And Martin nailed it. We've known about these guitars for more than a year, about a year and a half. They've been working. We've got a really cool relationship with the guys at Martin. We've been working with them along the way on the guitars and being able to provide some feedback, and they slayed the guitars. Let's get to it. The new 17 series. These things are sexy. 0017 and a D17. So this is not a 15 series guitar, but it is an all mahogany, solid wood, made in USA. These are all USA guitars I'm going to show you today. The big thing with Standard Series is always a dovetail neck joint, the true dovetail neck joint. We have the golden era bracing package. We have the authentic fingerboard edges. So on every one of the guitars in the Standard Series, the fingerboards were taken slightly thinner, right? If you've played any of our 18 series or 28 authentic 1937 custom expert guitars, you've felt this fingerboard already because it's there. And by taking this fingerboard thickness and bringing it down a little bit, they're able to contour the edges. So they roll the edges of these, and you can absolutely feel it. It feels way more broken in, less like a 90-degree angle. It's not as harsh on the ends. What they did is they took the mass that they took away from the top, added it to the back, and they give us what's called the golden era, I think, low oval. It's very similar to the modified low oval PA taper. I think it's a tick thicker, but I mean, it's just like you'd have to be looking for it to see it. It's a small difference. So you have much rounder fingerboard edges that you can totally feel. They took the edges of the bridge, they rolled all those so they're not as pointy as before. It's a nice player's feature. They added all bone or ebony bridge pins to the Standard Series. They're going to change per series. Like here you see the 17 is all bone, which is a nice add-on. Vintage heel height. So they went to a vintage spec heel height. So as you play down the neck, now you have more room to operate, a little bit sleeker there. And they even cut the nut on the angle of the headstock, vintage style, just like they did in the old days. They did an amazing job of leaning into what makes Martin guitars awesome. Like when you hear a Martin guitar, you don't want to think about what Martin guitars would sound like in 2400, right? You want to sound like the guitars that are the most famous and most recorded of all time, and they nailed it. Here's a 17. Strap in, this is going to be a long video today. I'm going to show you a fair amount of guitars. Not every single guitar from the series, but a lot of them. This is the 17 here. Again, same feature set. Absolutely beautiful. Hard cases with all the guitars. It's really, really pretty. I definitely did videos on both these guys, so you can hear full in-depth reviews of each. Then the 18 series, the 18 series stays, well, that scared me there a little bit. I'm up in the studio today because I shoot these on Friday, or Anthony shoots them on Friday for Monday launch, but the guitars are going out today, so we aren't allowed to have them on the floor, so it's our secret space. 18 series are always solid spruce top, solid mahogany back and sides, ebony fingerboards and bridges. All that stuff stayed the same. But now we have, like on this 0018, we have that golden era bracing. Obviously just a beautiful instrument. Everything else feels and looks identical as we just talked about there. So you're gonna get those 0018, 0018, D18, D18 satin, D18 satin burst. Guess what? We've got them all here. So they're on the site. You can see every single one. The 28s is where you start to see some kind of interesting changes. Now you get an additional feature here, which is really cool, and it's just an aesthetic, but I can't help but love it. It's the long diamond headstock transition. Definitely an old school feature. But what we've done here is, if you're following along, the guitars so far, all the 28 models, D and HD, OM, triple O, are all going to have the same bracing. So you're going to have the golden era bracing in all of them. You're going to have all the same features in all of them. So an HD 28 will be the same as the D28 minus the herringbone inlay. That's going to be your only difference there. Otherwise they're going to be the same. But we have the 0028s, OM 28s, triple O 28s, D 28s, and we even have, I'm going to sneak these in here, we've got a lot of these guitars in the beautiful amber tone finish, which we do tons of, as well as the 1935 burst, which is baller. So we've got all of them here, and the ones that were applicable where you could order the guitars as such. So what you're going to notice is you take a D28, and I've done videos on every single one of these 28 guitars. Here's a D28. Slide it up here. Gorgeous instrument, top's beautiful, beautiful backs and sides. Sorry for any reflections. We're doing them out of our normal place. I just saw Brent's face grimace when I turned the guitar over. Always a negative for the glossy backs. Take a standard D28 last year that had standard plank bracing, and this gives me a good chance to tell you about golden era bracing. If you think about a D28 brace, it was a straight brace, 5/16, right? Then you'd have an HD28, which would have been slightly scalloped, a scallop brace. Beautiful. These are now all 1/4 inch golden era bracing, so thinner brace, more powerful, and the bracing is much more contoured. And if you watch some of the videos, early in the videos and the transitions, Brent has a great shot from one inside that took one of the guitars apart, stuck a camera up in there. You can see how contoured the bracing is. What does this mean? With the thicker brace, in the original, the most popular D28s, from the golden era style, were all scalloped. The HD came along and D35s came along to expand models and offer different price points at different points in history. This is truer to the original spec. With a thicker brace that's straight, think about that on the top. It's much harder. It makes the top more brash. So when you strum through a D28, lots of people come in like, I want a warm guitar, I want a D28. They'd play it and they go, oh man, it's kind of bright, because that top end was kind of shrill, right? Here you still get that banjo killer effect. You get the ability to bite through and cut, no problem, because you still have spruce rose. You have a very powerful guitar here, but all of those tones have more nuance now. The top is much more lively, so when you play the guitar lightly, if you're playing with a pick or you play fingerstyle, the guitar's going to open up much easier and give you good tone with less work. And then the headroom is massive, because by relieving some of that bracing, now you're allowing the top to move much more. And acoustic guitar is a pretty simple instrument in the grand scheme of life. It's a top pushing air, vibrating, pushing air through the guitar, down and out the sound hole. The end. I mean, there's, not the need to bring in Neil deGrasse Tyson for this guy. It's just like, this is a pretty straightforward project, right? So by getting the most momentum out of the top, we're gonna get more tone. And what you're gonna notice about this is this guitar is gonna sound much older out of the box, which is unbelievable. Killing action, great feeling guitar. Again, you have really, I just love the transition. I just think it's so cool. Then we have another new model got added in the higher end guitars, I guess you want to call them the 45s, the higher number guitars. Here's an OM45. So we have the J40, the D41, 42, and 45s. This is the OM45, which did not exist until now. You see all the beautiful pearl work all around the tops, back, and sides. This guitar didn't exist. And they're giving it to us now, which is sick, because this is a guitar that I know I'm going to get the message on the FD45 or no 45. They're really expensive. I get it. People do buy them. We probably sell about 8 to 10 D45s a year, a pretty good amount. So an OM45 is going to be really, really popular. We're really excited about it. So you can see a beautiful OM45. You'll also notice a slight difference in the inlays on these 41s and 42s, 45s on the headstock. This is skinnier and more original spec. It's baller. The previous ones are just a tick wider, a little fatter, a little blockier. It just looks sexy. You know, it's just, but again, same tone wood combinations, nothing changes there. You're gonna get all of what you expected, but more power, more warmth, whatever. Now, what about the 35s? Good thing you asked. The 35s are not getting the Golden Era bracing package. As you may know, those came along in the 60s. They were not part of a Golden Era of tone for Martin in the sense of those guitars from the late 30s, early 40s. So what did they do? They took them all scalloped. They gave them the cosmetic treatments, but they really kept them in line more with the 35s that you're more used to, which is cool because if you're like, oh, I do want a little bit punchier guitar, I want a little bit more bright guitar, we will be able to use that as something to ping pong off of the new standard series guitars. You know, so we have all those models in stock. We have them in amber tones and bursts and everything like that as well. So we've got the new 17 series, the new OM45, which is all part of a new, for 2025, refreshed standard series. These are Martin's most famous models, the ones that we all know. I always say, like, if you go out on the sidewalk and ask people, 100 people, hey, name me an acoustic guitar, the great majority, they're going to come back with D28s, triple O28s, D18s. That's like the most famous guitars of all time, the most recorded guitars of all time. And they've done what I thought would never happen, Golden Era bracing in the guitars. It's a custom shop feature that is typically $300-400 add-on. They didn't charge, all the guitars went up $100, because they're going to go up $100 anyway. So amazing value, closer to custom shop and design, more powerful, more vintage inspired in terms of the tone, a more mature sounding guitar, a lot more character. I'd love for you to watch the videos that Justin and I did on the guitars. I think that'll be helpful. You can really hear side by side in some of Justin's comparisons video, the power difference, it's dramatic. I mean, a really, really spectacular upgrade there. Then some great feel choices. The fingerboards are rolled, super comfortable. The bridge being contoured is nice, not a reason to buy a guitar. The heel being sleeker and lower, so higher access, again, not a reason to buy a guitar, but the bracing is 1000% a reason, if you've been thinking about a new Martin guitar, to jump in now and get a total score on one of the brand new guitars. These are gonna be really, really hard to get. We're going to NAMM in a couple weeks. Anthony, Justin, and I, we have another massive thing coming from Martin, a really, really huge, the biggest single piece we've ever brought in to Empire Music is going to be coming from that show. So we're really excited about that. So keep track of that. What I'd love for you to do is give us a shout ASAP. We're going to get you hooked up. More important than anything, we will get you not only a great Martin guitar, we will dial it in, make sure it's the best playing guitar it can be, maximize its playability. We will get you the right guitar to make sure that you're seeking out the tone you're after. We'll deliver. We will get you the new refresh series before anyone else, playing better than anybody else to start 2025. We've got amazing selection here. So check it out. Go to the site, see the individual photos of all the guitars, no stock photos. Chat with us. Give us a shout. We will get you dialed in on the new refresh series refresh standard series from Martin right now at Empire Music. Thanks for watching.